lined up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with the few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
What's up? How's it going, everybody? We are tuned in. What was that noise? Was that my drill? What's going on there?
Yeah, it was your lightsaber. I smell your lightsaber.
Jeez, power tools everywhere. What's up, everybody? You are tuned into the Drive-In Speakerbox. We are back. We were gone last week. Our producer was jet-setting around the globe.
Having a European vacation.
I know. He was off in Greece and Amsterdam and all these places and just soaking it in while we were here by our lonesomes watching movies so that we could talk to you about them. But as always, I'm the boom operator.
On the grip.
And yeah, we're back. Another episode in the books here tonight. It is we're just after Oscar night was last night. Not going to spend a whole incredible amount of time talking about it because it was pretty much went how we thought it was going to go. I will say I am surprised a little bit that Parasite took both Best Picture and Best Foreign Picture. I knew it was going to get Best Foreign Picture, but after I started really thinking about it, it goes back to something I said several episodes ago when we were talking about the various nominees and what they bring to the table, and it makes the most sense to pick Parasite because I see you got a thought there.
Well, so I was watching this thing with Ethan Hawke talking about movies that he was in and everything like that, right? Mm-hmm. And he worked with the director, and he had a quote from that guy that
Bong Joon-ho?
No.
Different director.
Yeah, a different director. And that director said, you know, if I told them I was dying, I could win the Oscar for this film because the Oscars are like, that's what amount of bullshit they are.
Yeah.
Because they're just looking for a good narrative.
Well, and the narrative right now is don't piss anybody off. And, while a lot of the movies were all very great movies, the subjectiveness of the award is now getting very, very skewed by, ooh, golly. I mean, when you have...
Well, they have to have a story to tell about it. It's not about the quality of the work or...
Right. Well, if you think about it, like... All the movies, everybody was already mad enough that there weren't any directors of color or female directors being nominated for Best Picture. And they're like, let's do the foreign film because no one's going to get mad at us for that, right? And they, it's like, let's avoid any white males because that's going to piss off somebody. And we got the shoe in, so let's do it. And that's fine. I'm all for, inclusion and diversity and all this kind of stuff. But when you're doing it to just kind of fill in holes in a sinking ship for wrong reason, then you're not learning anything. And it kind of is just it's placating instead of actually acknowledging greatness. And I think that that's not a healthy trend to follow. It's one of those things that here on the Drive-In Speakerbox, I can't tell you how many times I've tried to get people to watch Bong Joon-ho films. Like, from, Memories of Murder, one of his earliest ones was really, really good. The Host, which is something we talk about almost every October. Snowpiercer, which was in theaters here in the U.S., and no one saw it. I was in the theater by myself watching that movie when it was in theaters.
Yeah, that one found a home on streaming.
Yeah. And then Parasite, which came out, and literally I was one of 3 people in the theater when I went and saw that movie, and I was like, hey, go see this. What's that? I don't want to read. I'm a stupid American person. And that's how the rest of the world looks at us, and rightfully so. And then now it's like, the Academy's like, well, let's give it to this movie, and everyone's like, what movie? Oh, I guess we need to watch it. Well, I guess we need to get, give it an American spin-off TV show on HBO because, and now it's just we're going down the wrong turn yet again. Just like Old Boy. You remember Old Boy, which
one? The remake. With
That's what I'm
Brolin?
talking about. Where it's it was the sympathy for vengeance. The Vengeance trilogy. A lot of people don't know that Old Boy was a part of a trilogy. Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Old Boy, and Lady Vengeance. Those 3 films. But Old Boy got some success, and instead of celebrating the success of that movie and then letting it get an adopted audience here overseas, they're like, let's put what's his name? Josh Brolin in it, and let's make it American and stupid. And it wasn't very good because a lot of the cultural nuance that comes forth in Old Boy, that I think is important to watch foreign films, because if you can't live in foreign countries or visit foreign countries, watch foreign films to experience their culture and learn about their culture. And
Old Boy's a weird example to use for that because it was a Korean live-action movie made based on a Japanese comic book.
This is true.
So you have a big culture change.
But those comic books and those storylines and what resonates in those storylines, I mean, just the whole idea of the importance of high school is something that doesn't always translate to American audience to,
You talking about Volcano High?
I'm talking about all kinds of high. I'm talking about...
Dude, but if we're talking Korean and we're talking high school and Americans doing their version of it, we're talking about Volcano High. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, but they don't.
With all the rappers that did the dub voices for the MTV release.
No, Volcano High. It's something else.
Like Ja Rule and Lil Jon and whoever else was big at the time.
The sequel is
the voices
Ja Rule with in Volcano High. The sequel, Firefest.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's one of those things that the Oscars. They're bullshit, guys, and it's fun to have watch parties, and it's fun to speculate, and it's fun to tweet about, actresses that wear $1 million, gowns that are got names embroidered on them, all the people that are snubbed, and then it's fun to get mad about, the Academy's snubbing them, screw the Academy. Then why are you still watching?
Snub is that term. That's their buzzword this year, man.
Snubbed. Like high school cliquey and stupid that sounds. It's like, so and so, Becky snubbed so and so. That's how dumb this all sounds, and that's how dumb this all is, because it's an award show. It's a bunch of other people that for whatever reason you have empowered to tell you what's good, and then you believe them. Saying the guy that's 2 guys that are telling you what's good. But it's supposed to be based off of expertise knowledge. And we live in a world now that the internet has given such a vocal platform to so many people that don't have expertise, but claim that their knowledge is the chosen path. And that's why there's a lot of weird stuff out there and a lot of followings out there that are growing, and it's like a lint wad of stupidity that in all these varieties of colors. So we thank you for, maybe that's why we don't have a lot of subscribers is because we're not stupid. We can't find our stupid group to just like get. Maybe we should just fight. Actually, here it is. I'm gonna get all of our subscribers up right now. Drive-in Speakerbox unboxing videos. That's what we're gonna do right now. We've got the grip was at the store. For those of you listening, audio only. This is a ASMR. We're gonna open these Oreo the most stuff. I've only seen these online. I've been really excited about checking these out back by popular demand, which is funny because the popular demand was only like an internet meme that they made like, I don't know, 5 of these, and they decided now we have to do it limited edition. Right now, the grip, the boom operator, live to the internet. We're going to open up these Oreo cookies. We're going to eat these Oreo cookies, movie snacks. Here we go.
Yeah, you should sneak Oreos into the theater.
That's right. I'm gonna peel back this delicious airtight cellophane that keeps those cookies fresh. Yeah. And then the aroma. Oh, the aroma in this bag, you guys, is not unlike childhood of putting too many cookies in at least 2% milk that you're visiting your granny's house and your mom has left, and she goes, you know what, we're going to eat Oreos. And you go, yeah, Nana. And then she pulls them out and you soak way too many. You know you're not supposed to have it. And you breathe in deep and you get the cream. You get the cookie. Get you one of these. Grip, get you one, get you two.
Well, I mean, one is like two.
Oh, man. They are thick. They look like the ice cream sandwich variety of Oreos. I mean, you don't even have to unlock the magic and stick 2 or 3 of them together. You could tell by the density of this cream that they squirted it not once but twice on 2. There's 2 layers of this. You can see there is a squirt and then another squirt. There is a squirt line, and I'm just gonna dive in. I'm just gonna get in here.
Why are we doing this?
Because we need more viewers. No one cares about movies, apparently. So, man, that's a lot of stuff. What do you think, Grip? How does this make you feel? That's a thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. ASMR, Oreo cookies.
Need more wackier voices.
Oh, wacky voices?
That's what McLean said if we're doing an unboxing. And
Okay. Well, guys, we're going to get these cookies tonight. All right. That's enough cookies. Let's get back to movies. Yeah, we were gone for 2 last week. Not a whole lot of really big news happened in the world of Hollywood. I mean, John Turturro, there's a Big Lebowski Jesus Rolls teaser trailer that got dropped. More Fast and the Furious 9 trailers.
Yo, we didn't get to talk about that.
We sure didn't. And Sam Raimi might be directing Doctor Strange movie.
Oh, they're gonna let Sam Raimi back at a Marvel movie?
Who knows? Well, yeah, we'll see because it works so well.
Hey,
for
Sam,
Spider-Man 3.
we remember that we mistreated you very badly, and that you ruined Spider-Man 3 on purpose so that you wouldn't have to make the rest.
He
of
pulled
that
a Joe
movie
Dante.
contract.
He Joe Dante'd Spider-Man. Because that's what Joe Dante did to Gremlins, too. He's like, screw this. I'm going to show you.
Except Gremlins 2 is sick. It has Grandpa Munster.
Yeah, Gremlins 2 is not sick.
It has
Gremlins 2 is ill and needs to be cured. In that respect, it is very sick.
It has Rambo Gizmo. It has Gargoyle Gremlins.
That's true.
It has Dick Sucker Gremlins.
Now it did have that. You are correct, sir.
It has Christopher Lee. Doesn't it?
Christopher Lee.
Isn't he's like the doctor dude, right?
Yeah, it's not. Let's not talk about Gremlins 2. Let's talk about movies that aren't that.
Let's not talk about Gremlins 2.
We gotta review some movies.
Let's talk about movies. We do. Yeah.
So last week we saw the rhythm section. Both of us independently of one another. We went and saw this film, new film with Blake Lively going ugly in this movie, which is always a stretch for people that are really, really pretty, and everyone wants to give them a trophy for looking ugly in a movie. And we saw this independently with one another. We haven't really talked about it with each other, what we thought, because I almost kind of forgot that I watched it.
I did too until I saw it on the board.
Yeah. So let's jump into this one. Rhythm section in theaters right now. It's been out for 2 weekends. And Grip, what did you think?
There's not really much to talk about in this movie. It's kind of like those memes where it's like I took the scripts from all of these and fed it into a robot. And then it pumped out this script, and it makes no sense, and it's not good, but it's really funny, like how not good it is, because it takes all of the tropes and cliches from the movie and uses the worst part of those to make its amalgamation of what it thinks that genre should be, and that's what this is. It opens up, she's down on her luck. She's a prostitute.
And she's on heroin.
Yeah, and she's on major drugs, and it's all because she's sad, because
family got killed.
Tragedy. And she's like, oh no, I was in college. I was super smart. My life was together. I was from an affluent family. I had everything going for me. Better do sex for money and heroin now. And then from that,
I'm sorry I laughed at that.
No,
you guys.
but I mean, it's like the progression isn't really given to you in the movie. It's like, this is just how it is, man. When you get sad,
when you're an affluent white girl in
money.
Downtown London coming from a very, very wealthy family and going to a very prestigious school, what do? sex for money and drugs.
Fans.
Yeah, exactly. Like they could have done something like that, but instead they do this, and then it opens with a reporter having found her, and he's like, I think that this was an explosion. It wasn't an accident on the plane.
I choose you, Pikachu. Out of the 289 people that died on this plane, I'm coming to your brothel.
Right. Yeah. So he's like, who's the worst person to tell about this and trust with information? Oh, I know. The heroin addict prostitute
teenager
that decided to give up on her own life instead of, not because she had to, because she was like, this is me now, I guess. And so he brings her home. She, of course, steals from him, gets that information stolen,
and gets him killed.
Murdered, and then goes to meet his contact.
A very highly trained and decorated SAS
guy. Yeah.
like secret agent, CIA, MI6.
Yeah, he's like James Bond.
Yeah, he's James Bond, and he's like, what are you doing here? And so through all of his rigorous training and
which is just jogging
and vast amounts of intelligence, he goes, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to trust you with all this delicate information.
Yeah. So
just like the guy that got killed.
Her training montage and everything is a lot of jogging, naked cold swimming in Scotland,
and unnecessary upbeat like classic rock songs that come out of nowhere.
Well, and then really bad foreshadowing. That's just obvious foreshadowing, because the entire training montage is jogging and one swim, and then the rest of it's like, hey,
I'm an assassin now.
Here's some friggin' what's going to happen in the future of this movie. Hope you remember this.
Hope you remember the
obviously
car
I will
chase.
because it was very out of place and awkward. And then he's like, I think you're not ready, but let's do it.
Let's activate you as an international assassin for
Right.
hire.
With the name of another one that everyone wants to kill. He's like, this is going to be your name. Everyone's going to know it. Everyone's going to want to kill you. And everyone is a killing machine.
Everybody's been doing this for a hell of a lot longer than you have.
Yeah. And she's like, sick. Let's do it. And then she botches every
Everything.
single assassination that she's given. She's like, and then she's still trusted with more. They're like, oh, you know how you ruined that one and didn't do a good job? Let the whole city know you were there, almost got killed 500 times.
And we're responsible for the death of children.
But by pure luck, you just survived that one. I think you're ready for the next one that's more difficult than that one. And she's like, yeah. And then
I could do it because I have yet another shitty wig on.
Yeah, she screws up every single one. And then there's unnecessary sexing. And then friggin' all of a sudden at the end of the movie, she's like, I'm a badass now. And everyone's like, whoa, we recognize that she's a badass.
Mm-hmm.
And she had no part of being a badass except the script was like, and then now she's bad. And everyone's like,
yeah.
Everyone's like, yo, she's bad, man.
She did it. She wins. I mean, the movie was a little bit ridiculous in the fact that, I get what they're trying to do. It's like, okay, she's screwing it up because she's not properly trained, and it's like, yeah, I get that. If you're making me suspend my disbelief to say yes, if it were you and me on a revenge kick without like running into CIA weird agents and all this kind of stuff, and we're like, I'm just gonna get on the internet and we're gonna go get those bad guys, and we probably screw up a whole bunch. Actually, Blue Ruin is a really good movie that's about revenge from a guy that's not properly trained. This one, my problem with is, why would all these decorated, brilliant people that do this for a living put her in these positions?
Well, and the thing is, so
send the real assassin.
Every assassination she tries to do, she isn't the one that's successful in it. It succeeds because of outside forces every single time. Mm-hmm. And the only person she does kill in the movie is because she had stroked his dick, and he's like, oh, hey, what's up? And she's like, hey, by the way, you're dead. And he's like, oh, man. Okay.
Crap.
Yeah. That's like the only thing.
I should have known.
Yeah, and it's just, it looked like it could be good from the trailer. It looked like it was that kind of thing where she's like, I'm gonna take into my hands this revenge.
Yeah, a little Femme Nikita, a little bit rough around the edges.
Yeah, something cool. And then it was just a bummer fest, man. Except Jude Law's so good.
Jude Law's always good.
Jude Law's such a good actor. He's so much fun to watch in anything he does all the time.
100% correct. I agree with that. You know, and Blake Lively, you know, everybody's like, oh yeah, she's going ugly. She did look a good job. It's like, would have been a lot better if you just cut your hair, because the series of terrible wigs that she wore, not like the fake wigs, it was like wigception, because she herself was wearing a wig for her main character, but then her character wore a bunch of wigs to cover her crappy, like, nasty hair or whatever. But you know, anytime you see like just a terrible wig, and you see like this weird bump in the back of your head, like, that's not how hair lays on the back of a head unless you've got a whole bunch of hair tucked up into it, and just like, it just, the wigs drove me absolutely insane, and I don't know why I just couldn't not stop focusing on all these dumbass wigs. But it was enough to,
for some reason, made her hair an important part of the movie.
Yeah. Well, also Sterling Brown was really, really cool.
No.
I like Sterling Brown.
No, because he's the same guy in every movie he's
in. And that's what he did a good job with, being the same guy that he's always been.
No, it's been enough.
Another one of these
I've seen it too many times on screen. I don't need to see him doing that same guy over again all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And his character was just like so bad at what he did. All of the people in this movie that were supposed to be big time bad dudes.
Dudes were just dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb bad dudes.
It was bad.
It was very bad. I'm going to take...
But Jude Law was fun.
I'm going to take one half of the more stuff and another half of the more stuff and make a double more stuff. This is Reckless Guy. Actually, I'm going to put a single crisp in the center and make it like a Big Mac with the extra bun. Yeah, dude, getting ready for it.
There you go.
Yeah, so rhythm section, it was
not as advertised.
No.
Yeah. I think it had potential, and they used too much of it to focus on the past portion of her life, like the prostitution and the withdrawals and things like that, rather than trying to make it more fast-paced and action-based and things like that. And they could have included a bit more training or given her an advantage. In like the first assassination, Botch could have been fine, and if she would have got good, but at the end of the movie, to make it where she's someone that these people are now worried about, it made no sense. It came out of nowhere.
Put a sniper on the roof while she's like outside being stupid. Problem solved.
Yeah. The whole movie was just, it should have been called Dumb Luck, the Revenge Tale.
I did it again.
Yeah.
For the international assassin plot. Got lost in the game. CIA in MI6.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was ridiculous. Yeah. You thought I was in love, but I stuck your neck full of rattlesnake poison. I'm not that innocent.
Yeah.
That was the movie. There you go. Rhythm section.
Yep.
Yeah. And I thought that got annoying. The name of the movie was like, the breath is the bass and your pulse is the drums. Breath is the bass and the pulse is the drums. It's like, shut up.
they said it once during her training thing, and then there was like one point in the movie at the very end, maybe, where she was like, remember your training.
Yeah, remember to breathe out your nose. And anyway, it's out there. You can check it out. But guess what's out? Else is coming out. We got some movies opening up this week before we tell you our other review, which was Birds of Prey. We saw this weekend. We're going to save that for just a moment. But we've got movies to talk about that are coming out this weekend. Opening this week, February 14th. A movie that you have been waiting for forever. A movie so despised initially on the internet that it got taken back and redone. New CGI, new scenes, new everything, because the internet is an insatiable, crazy, roaring, seething beast of stupidity and misinformed humans that director Jeff Fowler pushed back production by almost 9 months for the release of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, but following that, straight up, it looks a lot better.
No, it does actually look a lot better, but the problem here is it's already fallen into internet, the internet zeitgeist of being bad. Everyone's already made up their mind that this movie's bad, and it hasn't come out yet because of all the controversy around the initial trailer and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, it looks so stupid. Oh, it's gonna be terrible, terrible, terrible.
Yeah, but maybe thanks to all the memes and things like that,
people go see it.
Yeah, people are like, let's go watch this dumbass Sonic movie.
I mean, I'm gonna go see this dumbass Sonic movie.
I'm gonna watch it too. It looks real stupid, and I kind of want to watch it.
I mean, Jim Carrey, James Marsden. I mean, say no more. CGI animals doing people things, except for it's Sonic, who's always done people things.
But he's not necessarily an animal because in this movie he's from an alternate universe and he travels. So that's just what they look like in his world.
Yeah, it's just what Sonic does.
Which actually in the new trailers they show him like in the green zone and stuff like that, and the world he's from has like that side scroller look to
what?
it.
I have not seen that.
You haven't
part
seen that?
where it's all like da 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 da.
Well, and there's a music video with like 4 or 5 different rappers in it.
Okay, now I'm done. Now
but it has like all the sprites and stuff.
It's like run fast like a hedgehog.
No,
like a hedgehog.
No, it's not 90s.
Like my shark
style.
is like a hat. Hat's bill, shark
No,
fin.
it's like Little Yachty and a bunch of people.
Oh, my favorite.
Nobody knows. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the point is, they do it, and it has like Sonic music in the background. They do it kind of like in a Sonic style, and it has little like 12-bit little
12
sprites, 8-bit, 16, whatever Genesis was, man. But it has the sprites running, and it has like a bunch of tributes.
Genesis does what Nintendo don't.
Yeah, except it didn't.
You don't even know that.
Yo, we only got 3 buttons and a very uncomfortable controller. What do you think about that? 6-button Nintendo from the
came
bat.
out with a 6-button controller after the Super Nintendo came out.
Yeah, and
They had blast processing, dude.
all 6 were right next to each other, and the controller was still terrible.
Blast processing.
But Game Gear was dope.
Game Gear was dope.
A Nomad was more dope.
It was dope. I've got one around here somewhere. Shout outs, hey, to Gentry Collier tuning in on our Facebook live channel.
The point of that is I think they're going to try to do their best to do right by the games somewhat. Though video game movies are never good. Y'all.
Yeah, especially ones that have games titles like Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine and Sonic Spinball, and I mean, what are the other the I don't know, Chaos Emerald Capers or Sonic and Knuckles Take Dallas or something. I don't know what they.
Whoa.
I don't know. Not Knuckles Does Dallas. Anyway.
Why you got to put my boy Knuckles in that situation?
Hey, man. Echidnas are crazy.
There's literally a succubus character in Sonic.
But yeah, I mean, hey, Tails. Gentry asks, just tuned in, is a Sonic a good movie to take my boys to? They're 9 and 6. It's rated PG.
Probably the audience it's aimed towards.
Yes, absolutely. I would say don't take them to Fantasy Island or The Photograph. I would say if you're going to go see a movie in theaters, Sonic's probably going to be the one. Also coming out in a little foreshadowing there, Fantasy Island. Not having the same cast as the original Fantasy Island.
Yeah, no Ricardo Montalban, no tattoo.
No tattoo.
No deplane.
None of that. We can't do that in 2020. It's not allowed. But from director Jeff Wadlow, of course, now Blumhouse using their name as a selling point because Blumhouse is the new name in horror. But it's Lucy Hale, Maggie Q, Portia Doubleday. You might remember from Mr. Robot. But yeah, it's a horror adaptation of the 70s TV show about a magical island resort that makes your dreams come true. And in this one, it's like a monkey's paw, the island. It's like, oh, what do you wish for? I wish to see my dead child. And then their dead child is like, I'm a dead child, but alive. Horror. And then it's like, I want revenge on my high school girlfriend. And then it's like, now she's getting her eyes plucked out. And then nothing goes according to plan, and it's evil, and there's something nefarious under the island that you didn't discover, and plot twist. I don't know. Everybody died the moment they got there, and it's just lost. Who knows? It doesn't look very good, but it looks like, we are getting almost every single weekend, we're getting one of these churned out, like, cheese ball horror movies.
Does this mean they're going to make horror movies of, like, The Love Boat? And
oh yes, dude, the 70s like horror verse. So it'd be like Chips, the horror movie, Starsky and Hutch, the horror movie, Love Boat, the horror movie, Charlie's Devils. I'm about this.
No.
What else could we do? We could fantasy, the Brady Bunch, and they're a bunch of psychopathic murderers.
Oh yeah, it's like Hills Have Eyes, but Brady Bunch.
But the Brady Bunch, yeah. We could do
Partridge Family.
No, they already did. What was the one with the dog, like the
Scooby Doo?
No, not that one. I can't believe I can't think of it.
Clifford?
No, it was they're like they play music. And they're in these big costumes, kind of like Showbiz Pizza things. But the modern update was they were androids and they went around killing everybody.
Five Nights at Freddy's?
Crap, no. I'll think of it when I'm not trying to think of it. But Gentry College suggests My Two Dads, the horror movie.
Wow.
That just would get dark, I think, in a bad way. The Banana Splits. Yes, thank you, McLean. The Banana Splits. There's a horror movie version of that came out, I want to say, last year. Crazy stuff.
They could go into the Hanna-Barbera cartoons too. They could have Jabberjaw, but it's like,
but he turns into El Kabong and starts whacking people's heads off with a guitar.
Yeah, but it's like the 38 meters down or 80 meters down or whatever that was, you know. And they could have the Dune Buggy one.
I'm gonna bite your head off.
Yeah.
It'd be weird.
Yeah, they could have like Snagglepuss, but it's like a wild lion eating.
He's just clawing everybody up.
Yeah, you get the idea.
Man, I'm about it. But also not about it. Also coming out in theaters this weekend from director Stellar Meggy. It's The Photograph. It's a romantic drama about a series of intertwining love stories set in the past and the present about this young woman remembering her mother and trying to reconnect with her mother through a series of photographs and relationships and it looks like a romance movie. It looks like about love and stuff, but it also does have Lakeith Stanfield, who I actually do really like. I don't know. Nothing about this is really jumping out at me, and it's not that just because I think romance movies are pretty paint by numbers. It just doesn't look. It just looks like we needed a movie for Valentine's Day weekend, and here it is.
Who's the girl in that movie? The one, she has the HBO show. She was in.
Oh, and she's in
every movie.
Yeah, Issa Rae.
Yeah, I think we're getting really oversaturated with her right now, which is a dangerous thing, maybe, because
she's in a lot of stuff right now. There's that one, the new movie that's
Kumail Nanjiani
with and it's called like same movie we've seen
Couples.
all the times. Yeah. What is it? What is that? The Lovebirds. That's what that movie is. We're going to see. She's also got two more movies in development right now, The Empress of Serenity and American Princess. They're slated to be coming out in the next year and a half, so be on the lookout for those. She is everywhere. And honestly, I think she's really... She exists better in comedy, like this trailer, The Photograph. I just... You know, when she's surrounded by talent like Lakeith Stanfield, who is a phenomenal actor, if in my personal opinion... It just having them two on screen just looks really awkward because I don't think she's that convincing in dramatic, serious roles. She's hilarious, But literally sitting in the theater and seeing the trailer for The Photograph, and then the Lovebirds coming on immediately
at the same
after
time.
it.
Yeah, that's
It's
what
like,
I'm saying.
It's a little weird, y'all.
Yeah, getting pretty saturated.
And she looks
market with her.
She looks more natural in The Lovebirds than The Photograph. The Photograph, she just it just looks like she's out of place. But it could be just the juxtaposition of the two trailers. I don't know. But yeah, anyway.
Before we get too far away from it, Gentry suggested Mr. Belvedere for the horror verse. That would be pretty good. You know, you just have like a
Weird,
like a
creepy
murder
neighbor
butler.
that trains a little child to seek out and murder people.
Leon?
Yeah, there you go. It's a professional. What else do we got?
Liam Neeson's being allowed to be in a movie again.
Yeah, a lot of indie movies. It's Ordinary Love, Liam Neeson. Allowed.
That's because he had controversial statements while he was advertising for that last movie he did. The one
Controversial Neeson.
Yeah.
He's getting old. The last movie he did, Men in Black International.
Oh, he did do that after the other one, the snow one that I watched. I can't remember the name
I don't
of.
remember that one. The name of it. I know what you're talking about, but I don't.
It was a good
remember.
movie.
It's all right.
Can't remember the name of it.
It was Set of Skills, Snow Edition.
But it wasn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was about as good at killing people as friggin' Stinker in the rhythm section.
But he was killing people. Anyway, Ordinary Love coming out. That's going to be barely in theaters right now. Somebody actually was asking me about some indie movies and kind of when they're going to come out here, when they're going to, nationwide releases. I had to explain that to people the other day. But again, for reference, for those of you at home that don't watch the Drive-In Speakerbox, maybe you're just tuning in for the first time. There are four technically, classifications of movie releases. Number one, LA, New York. That's like generally the first place. After festivals, it'll be like, okay, premiering in LA, New York. And that one really doesn't count because that's just, it just doesn't count. But then there is limited release. And limited release is only in about 150 to 200 theaters nationwide. They are in the major markets. And then some places like Alamo Drafthouse, LA, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, San Diego, Las Vegas, like some of those super densely populated areas. And then there is expanded release. And expanded release is what Northwest Arkansas, here the weird broadcast from, we're in the expanded release category. It's like medium cities or cities that have a notable population that consume smaller run films. And those usually are between 250 to about 550 theaters nationwide. And then expanded release goes to available to all theaters nationwide. And there's almost 5,000 theaters nationwide that are listed in box office totals reported each week. So that's kind of how you know. If you look and dig in deep, it'll be like, oh, limited release, expanded release, or nationwide release. Like that kind of tells you, gives you a good idea of if you're ever going to get that movie. It's kind of like The Lighthouse. We had to wait till it was an expanded release before we got it, but it never got a nationwide. So anyway, more you know. Meow. That was the star. In case you did, I guess. Do 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 do.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah.
I like meow a little bit better. All right. Well, let's see what is else that we need to talk about. We need to talk about Birds of Prey. That's the other movie that we saw in theaters. We saw Birds of Prey. It is AKA the Harley Quinn movie that everybody has.
What Birds of Prey?
Yeah, it is not really a movie about the Birds of Prey. It is a movie about...
We're gonna have to work real hard to not hit people with spoilers, even though no one's watching the movie, just because he likes DC and we can't.
Oh, spoiler alert, the movie's about Harley Quinn exclusively. And why wouldn't it be? She's the most marketable thing that came out of Suicide Squad that is now getting a spin-off movie. And this is something that I find interesting. In a movie, I see that face, I know, just... In a movie, Suicide Squad was universally panned by critics. Nobody really liked Suicide Squad.
and moviegoers.
Yeah, nobody liked Suicide Squad. Everybody was like, I can't believe they took the Joker and put tattoos on his face and put Jared Leto in the role and put gold in his mouth and made him, that's not my Joker. This movie is stupid and I do not support the decisions it has made. And then...
I feel very personally attacked right now.
And then Harley Quinn, who was tattooed up and basically the equivalent to match the update they did to Joker, played by Margot Robbie, and they're like, hey man, that's awesome, really love the job Margot Robbie is doing, just breathing new life into this character we know almost nothing about.
But that was half of her character's design is just a rip from the Arkham games too, whereas the Joker has never had that huge of a change. The biggest change that he's really had is Dark Knight Returns, where he has like the big dumb like giant shoulders and was kind of like real feminine and creepy weird. And
well, I'm going to say this before we get deep into the review. I know that the group is going to disagree with me extremely on this one.
Oh my God, are you serious?
But if we're gonna make a Harley Quinn movie, Margot Robbie is the choice. She's got the voice, because to me...
Is it because she can't do the accent?
To me, she is getting as close to the Batman the Animated Series Harley Quinn, which is what defined... That set my bar for Harley.
Oh, because that's how she was invented and introduced, and that's where she's from.
That's my level, Mr. J. Puddin', but she, that character is when I try to wrap my brain around it existing in the real world, much like a lot of comic book movies, it gets really, really hard to take that seriously, because Harley Quinn, and the one thing that I will say that I am happy that this movie did is acknowledge Harley's past of getting her PhD, being a psychologist, and then treating the Joker, falling in love, and it didn't go all into her crazy weird issues.
They already did it in Suicide Squad. They even
not in a good
recycled
way.
the footage.
I mean, they did a little bit of that, but they did it in a little bit better way, and I'm glad that they acknowledged it, and they made a couple of reference to the old costume and her hammer and all this kind of stuff, and I was okay. That was like, okay, I get it. I'm okay with it, but that's it. That's pretty much where it stops with a lot of the praise that
Hold on.
Okay.
Ewan McGregor is a really good actor, and he's enjoyable in almost everything that he's in. That being said,
he ruined Black.
He didn't ruin it. I will give it that Ewan McGregor did his best, and we laughed at him.
We did.
He was fun. Black Mask is not supposed to be a character that makes you laugh.
So
it's not supposed to be fun.
Honestly, I think that if they had made Ewan McGregor follow a more Black Mask character and let Harley and let Margot Robbie, if it was just those two and they kind of cut out all the Birds of Prey storyline, I think this movie would have been a lot more enjoyable.
What Birds of Prey storyline?
Exactly. They tried to inject all these other characters that were just distracting from things that we didn't need to be distracted from.
It shouldn't have been a fucking Harley Quinn movie, because Harley Quinn is a trash character. It should have been the goddamn Birds of fucking Prey, dude.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Where was Huntress? Not there. Where was Oracle?
They screwed up.
She doesn't exist in this universe.
They screwed up.
There's
Huntress.
no Barbara Gordon. There's no Oracle. What about friggin' Black Canary? The bird in the Birds of Prey portion of this shit. Instead of keeping this iconic character of DC, one of the best fighters in the Justice League, they're like, what if she's kind of an idiot chick that wears high heels, bell bottoms, and is not good at fighting,
and works in a nightclub,
and has no superpowers? And the whole iconic look of a black leather jacket and the fishnets and blonde hair, scrap all that. No one needs that crap. No one needs the Black Canary to look like how Black Canaries looked for the last, 100 years. Forget that. No one wants that crap. Let's make her completely different, and let's take her superpowers away. Okay, there you go. There's somewhat Birds of Prey plus Poison Ivy.
I mean, and honestly,
Catwoman.
Honestly, I think that Journey Smollett Bell could have pulled this off if they had actually tried to make that character more that character.
Who?
The character
Dinah Lance?
No, Journey. She's the actress that played Black Canary.
Yeah, Dinah Lance. That's what I'm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that she could have made that character work
If they would have made her that character.
Made her that character. Same with Huntress.
Same with friggin' Batgirl, who isn't Batgirl, but instead Cassandra Cain is a slightly overweight small child with a broken arm who's an idiot and is the friggin'
Hey, Grip.
centerpiece of the movie.
Yeah, that was a little weak. But here's the thing. This movie is this movie because they knew that everybody likes Margot Robbie, and they're going to hit it with a bat, and we're going to sell tickets and sell Halloween costumes on Halloween.
You know who knew that Margot Robbie was liked? Margot Robbie. She's the executive producer on this stupid movie.
This is also true.
Oh, she was?
Yeah.
She was the executive producer on this movie. You had a comment there, producer. As a big fan of the DC universe, I can see you want to chime in.
Oh, I was just gonna ask the Grip if what if the movie had Tara Strong instead? What then?
Tara Strong.
What then?
As Black Canary?
No, as
Harley?
as Harley, because that's
Oh.
she voiced Harley and several other DC
Yeah,
and a Powerpuff Girl as well, and
Yeah, she was Bubbles.
Raven.
But she's not famous, you guys.
Oh, she's famous to me.
To nerds.
To anyone that likes DC
I'm
animated, like we've talked about, she does so many voices.
I know, but she's
She's
a
hot.
voice actor, and no
She's
one knows
hot,
her.
too.
That's the thing about these
She's
movie
hot.
producers is they want to sell tickets, and Margot Robbie sells tickets. I don't know how Rosie
did it?
I don't know how Rosie Perez got involved in this, but
Now let's get to the box office roundup before you start talking about selling
I mean,
tickets.
it was the #1 movie in America, but it did not make a crap load of money for a comic book movie.
So in making the character of Renee Montoya a Birds of Prey rather than a GCPD comic book character that no one cares about, because the GCPD comics are only ever read when they're a tie-in for something else like War Games, where Cassandra Cain, aka Batgirl, has some role there, but instead they're like, what if we just screw up all of these characters? They're like, Victor Zsasz, big time Batman villain, let's just make him some weird
thug henchman in the background.
He's in there?
yeah he's Black Mask,
Right hand thug with like literally two speaking lines.
he doesn't have the scars. He doesn't really do it. He has a bunch of scars, but they're disorganized. Like he just does it however, whenever. It's not, it's not the, what do you call that? The hashes, like,
Right. The like,
They
Yeah,
did it right
4
in
and a
Gotham.
slash, and
They did it kind of right in Gotham, Victor. So
I
haven't watched
haven't
Gotham.
really put a lot into Gotham, but they took every character except for Harley Quinn, and they're like, what if we can make them as far away from this character as we can? Like, why name that girl Cassandra Cain instead of reserving that for a Batgirl? They're like, what if we use Batgirl's name just to ruin everyone's
To get people
lives?
hyped that she might be in the
Yeah,
movie.
and then so having watched the Arrowverse for a majority of it, watching Arrow from CW, they did the same thing with Black Canary, where they introduce a character with that name, but she's not the Black Canary, and then they have like 5 incarnations of Black Canary, and none of them have the power. And she's not the same if she can't fight, if she doesn't have the power. And this movie eliminates the whole premise of her being trained by Wildcat or being cool in any way. And they're like, all that DC lore and history and characters, no one needs that crap. Harley Quinn's here.
Badass boy punching girl squad. And honestly,
But they aren't. It's another one of those, they get lucky a lot.
I will say that, this movie was not as girl power as I expected it to be, except for one scene that stood
Where
off.
they hit
to
that
be-
dude in the nuts 5 times?
Well, no. There was one scene that I felt was really unnecessary. Kind of, and I often go back to the Rambo film, the Rambo, where the bad guy is a bad guy, but he also is a cannibal, baby raping, evil, just like every bad thing that you can think of, they made this character. And yes, we get it. Black Mask is a horrible person. He's a criminal mastermind. He's got violent tendencies. He's a big jerk. But then there was this one scene where, for no reason, somebody's laughing on the other side of the room, and he's feeling like agitated by it. And in normal like bad guy things, like flip a table, throw a knife across the room that lands in someone's head, like boing, 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 or go over there and just like pull a knife out, or just like threaten violence. That's what bad guys do, or just shoot someone. Just kill him. But they had to make him even more unlikable in today's like political climate, where he like walks over and goes, "You female, get on the table and show me your panties." And it's like,
that's not exactly how that went.
No, it was like, "Dance for me, but naked," and which is literally how it went.
Well, but no,
I thought that was so unnecessary.
See, that was the only part that made him seem like the character of Roman Sionis or Black Mask, because the rest of it was him being a comedic actor and character,
right?
Which was fun, because again, Ewan McGregor, fun guy.
But my problem was.
But that fit in with his whole ew thing.
No, that did, except for this scene. It's like, how do we make him hateable by the female demographic? Oh, let's make him a sexual predator. And
but is he? Because they kind of make him and Zaz seem like they have like a real weird thing.
It just seems so out of place that I know what it was. It was a visual device to kind of bolster up that girl gang, let's get them, let's kick them in the nuts girls sort of thing, which is they're using to sell tickets right now. I mean, look at Charlie's Angels, look at that scene in Avengers Endgame, look at all
another one that really sold the ticket.
But they're trying, and it's like, stop trying to do that. Just let the story be what it is. We can all hate him. We can all do all these things, but when you start to really heavy hand some sort of side initiative to like, oh, maybe if we do this, we'll rally up this weird little subculture on Twitter, then it just feels fake and it just feels stupid. And I think that that it was just completely unnecessary and set a weird tone for the rest of the movie. And then of course everybody is like at the end like, oh, let's all join together to protect this girl that we were literally willing to like gut 5 seconds ago.
See, and that's what I'm saying, and making it all Harley centric, and then just completely eliminating the characters that are the birds of prey until you make a joke about them at the end of the movie. But just taking all that away, Huntress is by far my favorite female DC character. And always has been that way. And she was nobody in this movie. She was nothing. She barely had.
She was almost comic relief.
Yeah, and same thing with Black Canary. Black Canary's supposed to be a super badass, and they took all of that away from them. And if they would have made it more of a birds of prey movie, which has always been a successful team up, has been a TV show in its own right before, but all of you that need a Margot Robbie Harley Quinn on screen to have you watch something that might actually be interesting, did not watch it, so it barely survived, I think, one season on the old WB back in the day. And trying to do something like that but not giving it its own way to get out there and shine, it just takes away from it more than anything else.
Agreed. It just is a movie that had potential to be cool, but you can just see these producers and stuff are really just trying to grasp at straws to appeal to an audience that I don't even think they understand.
Right. Well, and when you do that and you take Black Canary, who's like a top tier character from the comics, reduce her to the lowest possible tier with these other characters, like I said, one from Gotham City Police Department, the comic book, and a not Batgirl who is instead a underdeveloped child, and then you put her with a not Huntress, and you don't.
And then the leader of the team is a tertiary character.
Yeah, you You just ruin everything that you tried to have, because Birds of Prey can be very cool. It's always a fun team up. The comics always have some success there. It's always a team up that people kind of look forward to, and has had its own, I don't know, appeal there, and you take it all away because you're trying to.
But here's the secret
else.
sauce is no one wants to dress up like any of those other people for Halloween.
Wrong, dude. Huntress always has a sick costume.
But no one wants to dress up like that for Halloween.
Have you seen her in Arrow? Because Huntress looked super cool in Arrow.
But you can't go to Halloween Express and buy that the night before on, like, I've got some cut-off jeans to show my butt cheeks off, and I'm going to get a ripped-up sports jersey and carry a bat and do wild, like, Hot Topic girl makeup and go to a party so that Brad will look at my butt and think I'm hot. Like, that's how this works, dude.
I mean, Black Canary, you just have to have a leather jacket, blonde hair, and some fishnets. The end.
I'm just
Some
telling
gloves.
you, as a person that, I mean, I like the comics. I don't get as deep of them as you. I can totally see how, I mean, they're trying to market this to people. They don't give a shit about the comics.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they what I'm upset about is that they didn't use any source material for any kind of character. They made every character either Harley Quinn or a lighter version of Harley Quinn.
Yeah. No, that's true. It's true. So anyway, that movie, Birds of Prey, and the emancipation of fabulous whatever of Harley Quinn, I think is the whole title. It's in theaters. It's an action movie. Honestly, it's fun. I didn't like walk out of there going, what did I waste my money on? It's got some fun stunts. It's got some fun lines. It's got some funny moments.
It has Ewan McGregor.
And it's better than most of the Marvel movies, in my opinion. I still don't like most of the Marvel movies, but I had a better time in this one than I do most comic book adaptations of Marvel films.
The overeating Skittles and them tearing up the roof of my mouth and making it where I can't taste on the sides of my tongue right now was more fun than the movie itself.
Oh, see, that's pretty. I wouldn't go that far. But this is a guy that reads all the comic books and watches the WB shows and and CW shows and WWCBWDB or whatever it is now. And did you watch like Crisis on Infinite Earths?
No, but I need to, because I've heard nothing but good stuff about it.
It's like a 200 million year build up. Everybody's losing their minds, and after it happened, no one's talking about it at all. Like, it was like secrets of there was a half of a blurry cell phone screenshot of behind the scenes of, can you even believe this is gonna be, and then it like happens and no one's
that's
talking
part of
about
CW is because when there's hype, everyone's like crazy hype, but as soon as it happens and you see it, you're like, oh, I don't watch CW.
Yeah, I know.
Because think of all the people that like that show about the two brothers that are like demon hunters or whatever.
Supernatural?
Yeah, people love that show, but the hype, it just wanes quick, you know. And they're like, oh, what? I don't know what you're talking about. But if like, what, Dean? What? You know. And then
I don't understand the CW, man.
Yeah, it's weird.
The CW is a weird.
It has a movie cinematic tie-in because Ezra Miller's DC cinematic universe Flash shows up in it. And you get Brandon Routh, who played Superman on screen in the worst Superman on-screen adaptation. He shows up as old man Kingdom Come Superman. So that's pretty cool.
Weird.
And you get the guy from the Flash TV show who has played Jay Garrick in The Flash, and also, what's his name? Barry Allen's dad in the series shows up as 90s TV show Flash.
Oh, reprising the role.
Mm-hmm. So
it's like a reference inside of a reference inside of a reference.
Yeah, so he's gotten to play that Barry Allen Flash twice, and he's gotten to be Jay Garrick, which is super cool, too.
So weird. The CW. What?
Yeah. You know what?
Chicken butt.
Before we get too far away from it, too late into the show, there was one other.
Oh yeah, you saw something
female-led, written, starred-in movie. That, speaking of award season and people buying up the movies from Sundance and the weird little festivals and things like that, I watched Horse Girl
Where
last
did you get
night.
a chance to see that?
It's on Netflix.
Oh,
Netflix
yeah, okay.
bought it up from
Allison
after
Brie
Sundance.
and Molly Shannon. Where did
Oh, yeah.
Molly Shannon go?
I don't know, but Molly Shannon, hey, not to get too far into it too quick, but Molly Shannon was really good in this movie.
Did she sniff her armpits?
No, she didn't do anything weird. That's the thing. Molly Shannon had played
She-
like a serious
What?
role in the movie.
What?
And yeah, she did really good. I always liked Molly Shannon since back in SNL days. But Allison Brie co-wrote the movie.
Okay.
And basically, it starts out as the most awkward, uncomfortable thing you've ever seen because she's this horse girl, right? She likes to ride horses, and like she works at like a Joanne Fabrics like craft store type place. And she has no friends. She's super awkward, can't talk to anyone.
Likes to draw ponies.
Yeah, well, and talking about supernatural, she watches a show called Purgatory, and that's where she centers her whole life around. Is this TV show that's like a procedural crime-solving show, but with the devil in it, and like supernatural stuff. So it's kind of like Lucifer. Yeah,
Yeah. I love that show.
and it has what's her name in it too. The girl from Insatiable or whatever that Netflix show is, Debbie Ryan. Debbie Ryan's in it too, so it's kind of like a who's who of Netflix type deal going on here. But then after like the initial awkwardness and just like super weird, like it was making me very uncomfortable. I was having like an anxiety attack watching this movie about this girl who's so awkward in situations, and she meets this guy that's awkward, and then everything just spirals out of control, and it becomes a movie that you don't know what's going on. It's like a descent into madness where
I'm down. That sounds cool.
You find out that her grandmother was schizophrenic. Her mom was like clinical depressed that like would hurt herself and stuff. And she sleepwalks and does all this creepy stuff, and she doesn't know what's going on, and she starts thinking that she's being taken or that she's going crazy, and you never know. And the movie just gets more and more and more out of control, and it's just the weirdest descent into unknown crazy madness, and it makes no sense. And it's like a very Donnie Darko type thing where the movie ends and it's ambiguous, and you're just left trying to figure it out, but there's nothing there to figure out. You just have to find a way to interpret it for yourself and decide what happens and how you want it to be. It's crazy. Super weird.
Horse Girl.
If it's going to bother you like it's going to bother me for the rest of my life, that I have no idea what's going on in this movie, and I will never receive any form of closure on that, and it will haunt me for as long as I live, then maybe don't watch it. But if for some reason you have a thirst for being weirded out and
I'm about that life.
just complete unknown, and you're satisfied with not ever knowing, and just look back like, remember how weird that was?
Just the journey.
Yeah. Oh,
Kind
there
of
you
like a
go.
hobo with a shotgun. What was that? You remember-
Well,
did you ever
at
see
least that
movie?
one has more of a premise.
Not really.
Yeah, dude.
Other than
there's
hobo with a shotgun.
there's a hobo. He's fed up with it. He's gonna shoot some bad dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna get change.
Better revenge movie than the Rhythm Section.
I mean, honestly, true. Pour one out for Rutger Hauer. Shout outs to that dude.
Yeah. But the acting in the movie is pretty good. Like I said, Molly Shannon kills it in her role. Of course, it's Netflix with Alison Brie, so you have to see her naked more than once. But her character is all over the place. She does a really good job with it, for sure. And then Debbie Ryan plays kind of a butthole, which she seems to be doing well and
Pretty well fitted for her.
her post Disney days, and all the supporting cast is there, and it's the brothers, the guys that did friggin' you like his movies.
What does that mean?
Oh, they do creepy stuff. They did the The fantasy football TV show.
I don't watch fantasy football.
The main character stars in it. If you look it up, you'll know what I'm talking about. They were the.
Are they actors in this movie? I didn't see this movie.
One of them is. And I can't remember.
Oh, whatever. Moving along.
You'll, if you know what I'm talking about, you'll understand what I'm saying, and I'll probably remember in a second.
Well, yeah, you can check it out on Netflix. Everybody has that, I think, right?
Drive me nuts.
So yeah, we need to move on to that box office. I'm gonna just go through the top 10. For whatever reason, IMDb Pro and Box Office Mojo are a little bit behind this week, so the numbers are not as accurate as I like them to be. Had to go to a third-party data collection service, and the numbers are always rounded up, and I don't really like it. But we'll go through these very, very briefly, so you can know what the top 10 movies are in America, because that's what we do.
Okay, I have The League is the TV show that I'm talking about. And, oh man, you're going to know as soon as the Duplass. There we go.
Oh, yeah. Mark Duplass?
Yeah, it's the Duplass brothers.
Yeah, no, they're cool.
There we go. All right, mystery solved.
We're going to do the top 10 movies in America.
Gentry knows.
Again, because I don't have the IMDb Pro, for whatever reason, is not got their information up to date, even though I spend $300 a year on that freaking service. I need my data. We're going to go through and tell you what the top 10 movies are, but I don't have total grosses. I just have weekend gross, so bear with us this week. But number 10, movie in America, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker in its 8th weekend release, only bringing in $2.2 million this week. Number 9, Little Women coming in at number 9 from 7 weeks in release, bringing in only $2.3 million this week at the box office. Number 8, Knives Out in its 11th week, somehow still out there, bringing in another $2.4 million. How is Knives Out in 11 weekends?
It went up, too.
It's crazy. It's not, I mean, it's okay. Like, I liked it, but dang, guys. Wow. Number 7, Gretel and Hansel in its 2nd weekend release, bringing in another $3.5 million. Number 6, The Gentleman in its 3rd weekend, bringing in $4.2 million. Number 5, Jumanji, The Next Level, staying in the top 5 for 9 weekends, bringing in another $5.5 perplexing million. What on earth is happening here? Number 4, Doolittle in its 4th weekend release, bringing in $6.7 million despite completely atrocious reviews, still hanging in there in the top 4. Number 3, 1917, it's been out for 5 weeks, bringing in another $9 million. So not too bad there. The number 2 movie in America, Bad Boys for Life, in its 4th weekend, still up there in the top 3, bringing in another $12 million to the box office, and opening up the number 1 spot this weekend, Birds of Prey, the Harley Quinn tale, bringing in $33.3 million at the box office. And, $33 million, you're saying like, ooh, yeah, wow, that's a lot of money, but its budget was $100 million, and it's still got a ways to go before I think Hollywood studios are going to call that one a success, but we'll see what it does in the next coming weeks. So, as Vince said over on YouTube, he goes, agreed, Knives Out is a very okay movie. Agreed, it's very decent. But anyway, that's top 10 movies in America. Sorry, I don't have more data, but you can blame IMDb Pro and Box Office Mojo, which is now bought by IMDb, frustratingly. Any parting words there, Grip?
Well, hey, y'all wanted, you got the movies you want, and
you're welcome.
Yeah.
Right.
Enjoy those, huh?
Well, find us on Facebook and YouTube Live. You can watch us live in studio every week at thosewebsites.com/The Drive-In Speakerbox. Like and subscribe, share the podcast, Spotify, Google Pods, all those things. And we will see you guys next week.